Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Giptogu. I'm a Nigerian YouTuber living in England, United Kingdom. And if this is your first time watching any of my videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. It's been a hot minute since I showed myself here. I know that every time I make a video, I promise to be more consistent on YouTube, and when it's time to be consistent, you find me wanting. And to be honest, I honestly get it. I understand, but a lot has been happening, and this is not a life update video to share all the things that have been happening in my life, but just one quick update. By the way, I submitted the final part of my project on Thursday, so fingers crossed to to see what the results will be like and what the graduation is going to be like. But I'm actually excited for the journey to just moving here for my master's degree and to be finally done. It's really exciting, but that's not what this video is about. But if this is your first time of watching any of my videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Like I said earlier, I'm a Nigerian YouTuber living in England, United Kingdom. Many videos about travel, lifestyle, freelancing, living in the UK, how to settle in the UK, how to move here as an international student, and just what you need to know in that regard. In today's video, I am going to be sharing a particular topic. I'm going to be tapping into a particular topic that I've been seeing on YouTube, however, not for the UK. If you open your YouTube these days, all you see is why people live in Canada, why people live in Canada, why people live in Canada. And I'm like, you know what? I know that people are also living in the UK. People are actually living abroad to move to other places, either back to their home countries or other countries abroad, which they think is better. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make a video today regarding why people are leaving the UK, why people are moving out from the UK to their home countries or to other countries abroad. The first reason is the high cost of living and low wages. You guys, inflation is everywhere. Inflation is inflated everywhere, and the sad part is that while this inflation is inflating, in my own words, while inflation is inflating, the cost of living is going up. The wages are not actually going up with the cost of living. I know that the UK increased the minimum wage recently to like £10 per hour. I'm not really sure why. I think it's around £10 per hour now. That's the minimum wage. It's still not enough to cover the rising cost of living. Things that you see for a certain amount of money previously, when you go back to the mall, you go back to the store to get those things, you will notice that it's not the same amount of money anymore. Things are going up. Things have gone up. African food up, groceries up, things in the grocery store up, normal things that you buy, everything is going up, like because of the cost of living, and the wages do not match the cost of living. So most times people look at these things and they're like, what's going on? What am I staying here for? You know what? I'm just going back to my home country. I'm going back to my home country. I don't want to be living from paycheck to paycheck. The sad reality of living abroad is that a lot of people here live from paycheck to paycheck, so they are actually struggling with trying to pay the bills. The bills are endless, like bills, more bills here, bills there. And then by the end of the month, you don't really have any money. Most people in the UK, I don't know, there's no data to back this up though, but don't quote me on this, but I am sure that most people don't really have like up to £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 in their savings, because they're living from paycheck to paycheck. And I mean, like, you cannot even survive until you get the next paycheck. It's awful. It's really awful, and that's why a whole lot of people are actually moving out of the UK to other parts of the abroad, or moving back to their home country, because they're like, you know what, I cannot really live from paycheck to paycheck. I cannot do this, and I am just going back to my home country, which is understandable. Chicken. The second reason why people are leaving the UK to other parts of the abroad or even their home country is loneliness. I know we've overflogged this issue. Anybody that talks about living abroad is always talking about loneliness. Oh my God, abroad is so lonely. It's so lonely abroad. You don't have friends abroad. And I know that why people are trying to overflog it, and you're like, please give it a rest. It is true. It is so lonely here. It is so lonely here. Making friends is hard. Making friends is hard. And even after making the friends, to find time to hang out with these friends that you've made is very difficult. It's very tasking, because where's the time? Am I going to leave my work to come and hang out with you? Are you going to leave your job to come and hang out with me? Those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves while we're trying to form adult friendships, especially here in the UK. People would rather go to their shifts than stay with you, than hang out with you, because hanging out with you is not going to bring them money. Hanging out with you is going to remove money from their pocket, so they rather go to their shifts to hang out. This also affects relationships because if you notice that a lot of people, like when it's time to go on dates and all that, you just wait, like, should I go and meet man or should I go and do my shifts? Like, she to give me money, man will not give me money. If I go to my shift, I'll get £120. I mean, if I go and meet man, probably spend money, so it's a no. So loneliness is another reason why a lot of people here in the UK decide to leave the UK or move to their home country. In Nigeria, we have like such a huge friendship culture. It's easy to hang out with your friends as an adult. You can decide to go to the beach on the weekend, go to the beach on Saturday, on Sunday. There are a whole lot of events that you can go to, one concert here, one other concert here that will not cost you an arm and a leg. You can have house parties, you're not actually pursuing any particular shift. Your friends are also like a mile away, so you can just maybe enter an Uber or use a public transport like a bus, a danfo, to go to your friend's house and just hang out. You can walk from there. There are a lot of ways to hang out with friends. There are a lot of ways to meet new friends. Compared to the UK, it is quite tasking to become friends with people here in the UK, to find relationships. I mean, it's not impossible. The third reason why people move out of the UK, why people leave the UK, move to other countries or even back to their home country, is the lack of professional jobs. I'm not saying that it's not possible to get a professional job. I'm not saying that everybody that comes here has to do a manual job, but it's just when you're coming here, you have to be open-minded that you might not get a professional job immediately. So you need to be open-minded to do anything. If not, you might not be able to pay your bills. I mean, you guys know that I'm not a big fan of manual jobs, but like, let's face reality. Do you understand? Let's say a professional job is not that easy, and keep looking for a professional job. It's possible to find. I actually got a professional job when I came here. I worked in a venture capitalist company as a PR and communication strategist. I also did domiciliary case. I've done a couple of things since I came here, but it's just that while it's possible to find a professional job, you need to also be open to do whatever while also working hard towards getting a professional job. I'm not coming here to discourage you, to tell you that it's not possible to get a professional job. It's possible. I know a couple of people that have gotten professional jobs here. They didn't even have to do manual jobs. Everybody's experience is not the same thing, but you need to embrace your experience and embrace your story, because it's going to lead you to where you're going to in future. Now I'm sounding like all those motivational speakers that I do not like, but what I'm trying to explain to you guys is that getting a professional job is one of the reasons that people decide to say, you know what, I'm just done. So people, they do a master's here and then they end up working as carers and all of that, after spending up to £15,000 like paying for a master's degree here, which is not that nice. So getting a professional job is easy. It's not impossible, sorry. It's not easy. It's also not impossible. You should be open-minded. You should also be open-minded to starting from scratch, because when you're moving to another country, like leaving the comfort of your home country, leaving everything that you've known to move to a new place, you need to be open to starting from scratch. Starting from scratch means that you might even decide, maybe you're a brand manager in Nigeria and get a job as a junior brand manager. You can take that, or get a job as a PR executive, just something that is not like, if you get something in your profession that is not maybe where you were in Nigeria, you should also take it, because you're starting from scratch in a new country and you have to work your way up to the career ladder. And I don't know if I'm making any sense in this particular thing. I think I'm just talking regarding this professional job. What I'm trying to say is that it's not impossible to get a professional job, but it's not easy to get a professional job, and this is one of the reasons why people leave. The fourth reason that people leave the UK is the fact that your stay is tied to an employer. Oh my God, your stay is tied to an employer. You guys, if you know me very well, I'm a millennial. I'm a millennial close to Gen Z. I'm not Gen Z, I'm a millennial. I was born in 1996. I think 1996 is millennial. But I'm also close to Gen Z. What I'm trying to explain to you is that the way I behave, the way I function is that the way I move jobs, my stay cannot be tied. It's not possible. It cannot be tied to an employer. Why is my stay tied to an employer? My stay cannot be tied to an employer because I like to be very flexible when it has to do with jobs. I move jobs like when I get bored, when I don't feel like productive, when I don't feel that I'm using my head, when I don't feel like challenged, especially when it does not align with where I'm looking at my career. Especially when it does not align with where my career is supposed to be going, I am going to quit, So the fact that here, like, to get the after the tier 2 visa, which will lead you to your permanent residency. That if you stay on a tier 2 visa for 5 years, you will now get the permanent residency called ILR, which is indefinite leave to remain or something, before you now apply for the permanent residency. It's quite a long immigration process, but the story is that here you have to, after studying here, you have two options. Either you get a post-study visa or you get a tier 2 visa. The tier 2 visa is the work visa, so you need to find a company that will sponsor you to stay back in the country. Now, you need to stay with that company. You need to be on that tier 2 visa for 5 years, and after 5 years, you can now apply for the permanent residency. Listen, when you're that 5 years, you're not also entitled to government funds and a whole lot of other benefits that comes with being a permanent resident, but you're actually paying taxes and doing a whole lot of other stuff, which is quite understandable. But this is the reason that a lot of people do not want to stay here. Maybe after studying here, they decide to move to other countries that offer them a better immigration pathway, or move back to their home countries. For some people that do not mind this option, it's not bad. But if you are actually pursuing immigration actively, like pursuing a permanent residency actively, this route is too long and too risky for you to take, because you can, if your employer does something for you, to you, and you want to like quit, you cannot, because like if you quit, what's going to happen? Who's going to sponsor you? You go back to Nigeria. Do you want to go back? Except you want to go back though. But if you are chasing immigration or permanent residency actively, this is one of the reasons that people actually leave the UK, because they're like, why would I stay be tied to an employer? Maybe my employer does something to me, I have to like endure everything, because like the sponsorship is dangling in my face, and if I do anyhow, they can just revoke their sponsorship. Also, the fact that you even get a sponsorship with a company does not even mean that you are very close to the path of permanent residency, because anything can happen. We've seen a lot of mass retrenchment in technology and maybe finance. So someone got laid off recently from a big finance company, and her sponsorship was revoked. So she was given, I think, 60 to 90 days or something, or thereabouts, to find a new job. If not, she has to leave the country. Now, I don't know if she has found the job or not. I don't know what immigration status is or what her immigration fate is. But this is just like one of those things that, okay, you got in the company that is sponsoring, and then, oops, mass retrenchment, oops, I'm laid off, oops, I have 90 days to find a new job. From where? Where am I going to find a job that is going to also, not just finding a job, but also give me the sponsorship to stay in this country? So it's quite tricky, and you're still being tied to your employer. It's risky. Do you understand? It's very risky. I don't know if that's like something that I can take, a risk that I can take, to be honest. The fifth thing that make people leave the United Kingdom and move back to their home countries is the high taxes, you guys. But I'm not going to dwell much on this particular point, because like the taxes are high in like countries abroad. It's not going to be easier in Switzerland. You're not running away from taxes in the UK to run to low taxes in Germany. It's still the same thing. You're not running away from high taxes in the UK to run to better taxes in Canada. They're still going to tax you heavily. So the high taxes are actually everywhere. But to be honest, this is one of the reasons that people leave the United Kingdom and move abroad, because after getting paid, you're like, okay, where did the money go to? The tax man has taken it all. And then you're worried, like, what happened to my money? Where did my money go to? The tax man has taken it all, because the taxes are high. And this is why a lot of people leave the United Kingdom and move to other countries or move back to their home country. Another reason that people leave the United Kingdom and move back to their home countries is the weather. You guys, the weather is, oh my God. The weather. I know that it's not even as cold as, we're not even like, this is not like the coldest, one of the coldest countries. Like, for instance, if people like Canada are talking about Russia are talking about weather, we're not supposed to come out to say, oh, or people in, let me say, Greenland, Iceland, these countries that are really cold. There's another country, Mongolia, some of these countries that are extremely cold. If they're coming out to talk, we're supposed to just hide behind, because the UK is not as cold as other, or as these countries, but it's cold though. To be honest, it's cold, especially when you're coming from somewhere like Nigeria or India that has like moderate temperatures. Like, it's quite, hot, the weather is okay, you can wear whatever you want to wear, you can wear whatever it is that you want to wear. In this country, it is cold, okay? It is cold, it is cold, it is cold. I'm not even going to lie, you guys, it is freaking cold. It is cold here. The winters, the weather is erratic. Like now it's spring, and look at how everywhere is like, the weather is nice and lovely, it's lovely. You can check back in 2 hours time, but it's raining, it's not cold. Even though spring has sprung, the spring has not sprung, do you understand? So the weather is actually cold. Winters are cold, like, last winter I experienced here, it was really cold, but I know that some countries have it worse. Canada has it like really bad, you know. Some other countries like Russia, like I've mentioned some of these countries, they have it really bad when it has to do with cold, and they're surviving. So, but if you think you don't have to survive in the cold, then some people will just think of moving to other countries that are quite warm, or move back to their home countries if the weather is more favorable than what they have here. But if you can actually cope with the weather, which I think you can, let's be honest, which I think you can cope with the weather. It's not that bad. You just dress appropriately. The weather is not that bad, if I'm being honest. If you can actually cope with the weather, why are you living? It's not that bad. You know, it's not that bad. But this is one of the reasons that people are actually living. The seventh reason, sorry, why people leave the United Kingdom to move to other places is the educational system. I know the UK has one of the best educational systems in the world, and that's a fact. I'm not even kidding you. It's not that bad, but some people might come here and they want to do like a master's and PhD, and then they do a master's and see that no. The last point regarding why people are leaving the United Kingdom is the culture. You guys said culture is the way of life of the people, and you know what it means to stay in your home country for like 25 years and then you up and leave and you want to start life again from a new country. It's never going to be that easy. So people cope immediately, so people do not even cope at all. Like, people do not even cope at all and all of that. It's not easy to cope in a new country, a new culture. Maybe you don't even speak English, so a new language, new people that are not your skin color, they don't look like you, maybe new religion, just a whole lot of stuff. Maybe you come from a Muslim country and then you're in a country that is not like, it's a Christian country, but like it's a blend of everybody. And like maybe when you were growing up, you had a lot of Muslims around you, and here you don't have so many Muslims, or you don't have so many Christians, or you don't have so many ATR worshippers, you don't have many people that practice Hinduism or something. It's not easy to just find a balance to cope. So you're trying to cope in school, you're trying to cope with the language barrier, you're trying to cope with the culture, you're trying to cope with the new work system, you're trying to cope with the new maybe career path that you maybe are now doing a manual job. Maybe you're working as a bank manager in Nigeria or in India or wherever you're coming from. And then you're now working as a kitchen porter. You're also trying to deal with the new language barrier. You're also trying to deal with coping in school, trying to deal with the educational system. You're trying to deal with the teaching system. You're trying to deal with it is exhausting. So people never just get the hang of it. Like, and it's easy to say, oh, you will get the hang of it, but some people never get the hang of it, and it's understandable. Let's be honest. It's not easy to just up and just come to a new country and you think and everything will just go smoothly for you. It's going to take a lot of depression, okay? Just take a lot of depression, a lot of cry. You will cry a lot, you will cry and recry. And you know the funny thing is, if you tell your friends maybe in your home country about what you're dealing with, they'll be like, do you want to come back? Do you want to come back, my dear? Do you want to come back? Let me go in your place. Which is actually funny because they will not understand, and it's understandable. So you just have to deal with all of that yourself and cry a lot. If you're alone, you come with your partner, good for you. If you come with your good partner, not just any partner, good for you. If you're alone, you cry in your apartment, wipe your tears, you up and go for your shift, you know, go to work, it's exhausting, you guys. It is exhausting. It's not the easiest thing to do. It's not the easiest move to make. And this is one of the reasons that people actually move back. They're like, you know what, I've tried my best. I've tried to cope. The cope is not coping. I've been trying to cope and it's not working for me. And you know what, I'm just going back to my home country. I'm just going to try another country. Oh, I have relatives in Japan. So you guys, these are the reasons why people actually just say, you know what, I'm leaving the UK and I'm moving to my home country. Now, if you want to know 7 reasons that I absolutely love living in the UK, I have a video on that. I'm going to put the link here and in the description box that you guys will watch that video before you guys will judge me and say, oh, you're always talking about negative stuff about the UK. It's honestly not like that. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm not promising you that I'll be more consistent here since I'm done with my project, but we'll see about that. We'll see. We'll see about how I feel. Like the month of April was quite, mental health was not mental health in properly. But this month of May, I'm really happy. I have something like good, something like great happening tomorrow, which is 2nd of May. So like I'm just praying to God that it goes well, and then a whole lot of exciting things going on in the month of May. I'm really in a good place at the moment, unlike how it was in April. In April I was that's all I have to say. I was like okay, all right. So in April was quite, but this month it's better. Guys, I did my hair. I went to Nigeria a while ago anyway. I went to Nigeria in March and stayed for like a while there. Before I came back here. So thank you so much guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram at @IamGiftBogo. Till I come your way again next time. Be good, be nice to your neighbors. And if there's anything that you want me to talk about regarding living in the UK, studying in the UK, tell me and